Hello and a very good morning to all my dear children. Dear children, as you all remember that on the last turn we started lesson number 1. And what was the name of the lesson? The name of the lesson was Food, Where Does It Come From? So dear children, today we will continue the remaining part and finish it off. So we'll start with activity 5, which is on page number 4. So let's start reading. Take some dry seeds of moong or chana. Put a small quantity of seeds in a container filled with water and leave this aside for a day. Next day, drain the water completely and leave the seeds in the vessel. Wrap them with a piece of wet cloth and set aside. The following day, you will observe any change. Do you observe any change in the seeds? Now, dear children, before I start explaining this, I would like to recall what we did in the first session. In the first session, we studied about where do the food come from. You know, the main source of food is the plants and the animals. Plants give us different type of fruits, vegetables, cereals, grains, pulses, everything we get from the plants, all the spices, even the oil seeds, the oil that is extracted from the seed, that oil seeds also come from the plants. Then the animals also give us some food like the milk, meat, egg we get from the animal. From milk we can make out different type of products like cheese, butter, ghee, etc. from the milk. So we come to know that the main source of food is the plants and the animals. Now, in as we know that in plants we eat different types of, as supposing the vegetables are there, we eat different types of vegetables. Now, which part of that is a plant? Now, sometimes we eat the flower of a plant, sometimes we eat the root of a plant, sometimes we eat the stem of a plant, and sometimes we eat the leaves of the plant or the fruit of a plant also. So, all the plants, parts of the plant are eaten as a food because the fruit may be like a flower also, like we if we say cauliflower is a flower. It is like broccoli also is a flower, it is a vegetable, but as we say it is a flower part of a plant. Same way potato is a stem, so we eat the stem of a plant. Potato जो होता है वो stem में आता है, तो ऐसे ही root vegetables होते हैं, तो that is the part of the root of a plant. Now roots are of two types, one is the primary and the other is the secondary root. Now here you know how to make the sprouts. What is the meaning of a sprout? Now when you I'll show you the chana and the moong that is described here. I have brought some grains over here. You can see this. I'll put it over here. Now this is the brown one that you see is the chana, and the green ones, the smaller ones that you can see here, these are the green जो होल ग्रेन्स हैं, ये सब जो हैं वो मूंग हैं, और जो ब्राउन वाले हैं वो सारे जो हैं वो चना है. तो अगर चना और मूंग आपने स्प्राउट्स देखे ही होंगे जब हम मम्मी बनाती भी होगी घर में, अगर हम इसको एक दिन के लिए अगर हम इसको पानी के अंदर भिगो के रखते हैं, ये देखिए ब्राउन तो चने अच्छे से दिख रहे हैं, ये छोटे छोटे से जो हैं ये ग्रेन्स हैं, दीज आर द मूंग होल ग्रेन्स जो होते हैं, ये मूंग है. तो अगर आप इसको पानी के अंदर भिगो के अगर एक दिन के लिए रखेंगे, नेक्स्ट डे यू ड्रेन आउट द वाटर एंड देन कीप इट वेट एंड कवर इट विद अ वेट क्लॉथ, देन आफ्टर नेक्स्ट डे you can see the small white stem like structure comes out. As you can see here, this other you can see this white tiny structures that are coming out of these whole grains. ये आप घर पे ट्राई भी कर सकते हैं. दिस इज वेरी you can try it out. तो ये छोटे छोटे से ऐसे स्ट्रक्चर्स जो होते हैं, माइक्रो स्ट्रक्चर्स you can see, and if you keep it for 1 or 2 days तो ये स्ट्रक्चर थोड़े से लॉन्ग हो जाते हैं, बढ़ जाते हैं, दे ग्रो इन साइज. सो दीज आर कॉल्ड एज द स्प्राउट्स ऑफ द सीड. तो ये जो छोटे छोटे से जो स्ट्रक्चर्स, वाइट स्ट्रक्चर्स निकलते हैं, इनको हम स्प्राउट्स बोलते हैं. और ये जो ग्रेन होता है इसको स्प्राउटेड ग्रेन और बोला जाता है. और ये दीज आर वेरी हेल्दी, एज अ न्यूट्रिएंट वैल्यू बहुत ज़्यादा होती है. तो इसको हम काफ़ी डिफरेंट तरीके से हम इसका यूज़ कर सकते हैं इन आवर फूड ऑल्सो. यू कैन मेक द चाट, यू कैन एज सच यू कैन फ्राई एंड ईट इट एज इट इज़. सो इन डिफरेंट वेज वी कैन यूज़ दिस स्प्राउट्स फॉर आवर एज आवर फूड. नाउ वी मूव ऑन टू द next part. A small white structure may be grown out of the seeds. As I explained, that a small structure you can see. If we, if so, the seeds have sprouted. If not, wash the seeds in water, drain at the water and leave them aside for another day. कभी कभी ऐसा होता है एक दिन में sprouts निकल आते हैं, कभी कभी होता है it can take more time depending upon the temperature and the humidity also. So if in one day if you don't see those structures, white tiny structures coming out of the grain, then keep it again for the next day and wash it and then keep it again for the one more day. You can see it, the sprouts coming out. For the next day, see if the seeds have sprouted or not. Why? After washing these sprout seeds, you can eat them. They can also be boiled and add some spice to get a tasty snack out of it. So in the spices, this it can be used in many different ways as our food. Do you know where honey comes from or how the honey is produced? Now the next is, this is how the sprouts can be produced. और यही एक स्प्राउट अगर आप जमीन में करेंगे तो इससे एक छोटा सा पेड़ भी निकल सकता है. Now next is the honey, which is a natural honey. कैसे हमको मिलता है, that we are going to study now. Honey comes from or how it is produced. Have you seen a beehive where so many bees keep buzzing around? Bees collect nectar or sweet juices from the flowers and convert it into honey and store it in their hives. Flowers and their nectar may be available only for the part of the year, but bees store this nectar for their use all throughout the year. When we find such a beehive, we collect and the food stored by the bees as honey. Now here you can see this is the picture of a beehive. Beehive, आपने मधुमक्खी का छत्ता सबने देखा ही होगा कभी ना कभी. So this is the beehive. और इसके अंदर छोटे 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 बहुत सारे बॉक्सेस जैसी जगह होती हैं जिसके अंदर जो है बीज जो है हनी बनाती हैं. How the honey is produced? Now here how the hive is made. First you know that one is the queen bee and the remaining there are different types of bees. तो worker bees जो होती हैं वो जाते हैं और जो फ्लावर्स होते हैं उसके में से जो नेक्टर होता है, द स्वीट जूसेस ऑफ द फ्लावर होते हैं, उसको कलेक्ट करते हैं. यू माइट हैव सीन ड्यूरिंग द फ्लावरिंग सीजन दैट मेनी हनी बीज आर देयर अराउंड द स्वीट फ्लावर्स. जो फ्लावर्स होते हैं उसके आसपास बहुत सारी मधुमक्खियाँ जो होती हैं घूम रही होती हैं. दे सिट ऑन द फ्लावर ऑल्सो टू कलेक्ट द नेक्टर और द स्वीट जूस ऑफ द फ्लावर. देन दे रिटर्न टू देयर हाइव और उसको वो जूस को जो होता है वो नेक्टर जो कलेक्ट किया होता है बीज ने वो उसके अंदर वो कलेक्ट करती हैं and then they convert that sweet juice into the honey and they store it all over the year around. मतलब वो जो क्योंकि flowering season is only fixed season होता है flowering का, it is not that all the year round you can see those sweet flowers from which the sweet juices are derived. So there's a certain season for that. So these bees collect the nectar during that flowering season and then store it for the whole of the year. और कभी कभी हम लोग जैसे ऐसे बड़े मधुमक्खी के छत्ते देखते हैं तो हम लोग क्या करते हैं, मधुमक्खी को उड़ाकर इसमें से जो हनी बनाया हुआ होता है उसको हम कलेक्ट कर लेते हैं. तो ये उनका फूड होता है. दिस इज द फूड ऑफ द बीज व्हेन द फ्लावरिंग सीजन इज नॉट देयर. ड्यूरिंग दैट टाइम दे ईट दिस एज देयर फूड. तो ये जो हनी है वो हनी बी का जो होता है फूड होता है जिसको कि इस पूरे बी हाइव के अंदर वो कलेक्ट करके पूरे साल भर के लिए वो लोग रखते हैं. दे कलेक्टेड फॉर द होल ऑफ द ईयर. जो स्वीट जूस जो कलेक्ट करते हैं उसको ही दैट स्वीट जूस इज ओनली कन्वर्टेड इनटू द नेक्टर. नाउ वी मूव ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट टॉपिक 1.5. व्हाट डू एनिमल्स ईट? Now, dear children, we'll start with topic 1.5 on page number 4. What do animals eat? Now, do you have a cattle or a pet dog, a pet that you take care of, a dog, a cat, a buffalo, or a goat? You will then surely be aware of the food the animals eat. What about other animals have you observed? Other animals you have ever observed, a squirrel, lizard, or a small insect may be eating as their food. So, what do these small insects eat? What do the big animals eat? That we are going to study now. So, on the basis of the food that they eat, they are divided into different categories. Now, here you can see that there's an activity 6 in which several animals are listed in this table that is given here, which is table 1.5. Now, here what is given is the name of the animals and the food that animals eat. Now, here you can see this is the buffalo. Two examples are given here. Buffalo, grass, oil cakes, hay, and grains that is eaten by buffaloes. Cat, small animals, birds, milk. Now, what does a rat eat? Rat eats grains and cereals. Lion, meat of the other animals, small animals. Same way, tiger also. Meat of small animals. Spider, small insects, bees, and mosquitoes. You might have seen the spider के अपने वेब में जो होते हैं वो छोटे छोटे इंसेक्ट्स को वो फंसा लेता है and then he eats them up. Then house lizard, small insects, bees, mosquitoes. Cow, जो है grass, oil cakes, hay, and grains. Human beings, you all know we eat cooked food, fruits, milk, eggs, fish, etc. Butterfly, nectar and pollen. And crow, leftover food and small insects. और बहुत सारे other animals होते हैं जैसे rabbit है वो carrot खाता है इस तरीके से बहुत सारे दूसरे animals भी होते हैं ऐसे छोटे छोटे animals जो उनका अलग अलग जैसे frogs है तो छोटे छोटे insects को खाता है वैसे. Now we'll start with activity 7 here. Have a look again at the table 1.5 and group these animals entered here as follows. Place animals which eat only plants or plant products in group 1. These are called as herbivorous animals. Now, dear children, you are aware of the terms herbivorous, carnivorous, and omnivorous animals. So, what are herbivorous animals? The group 1 or the type 1 of animals on the basis of their eating habits is the plant eating animals. Plant and the plant products only. So those animals are called as the herbivorous animals which eat only the plants. So that is the group 1 or the type 1 of animals on their which is categorized on the basis of their eating habits. There are some animals which eat only other animals. Place these in group 2. These animals are called as carnivorous animals. Do you find any other animals which eat both plants and animals? Place them in the group 3 or category 3. They are called as omnivorous animals. Prepare a table as shown in the 1.6 and enter this separately in the 3 columns as shown. Now here in this table you can see that 3 columns are given: herbivorous, carnivorous, and omnivorous. Now first group type 1 animals or the group 1 animals, we knew that they are the plant eating animals, plant or plant product eating animals. The second group or the type is the animals which eat only the flesh of the other animals. That means they hunt or kill the animals and eat their flesh. They are called as the carnivorous animals like lion, tiger. ये सारे कौन से होते हैं? फॉक्स है तो ये जितने भी एनिमल्स होते हैं वो सारे जो होते हैं वो कार्निवोरस एनिमल्स होते हैं जो कि दूसरे एनिमल्स का फ्लैश खाते हैं. और थर्ड टाइप ऑफ एनिमल्स ऑन द कैटेगराइज्ड ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ द ईटिंग हैबिट इज द ओमनीवोरस एनिमल्स. दैट मीन्स दे ईट बोथ प्लांट एंड द एनिमल्स. मतलब दोनों को खाते हैं, जो प्लांट्स को भी खाते हैं और एनिमल्स को भी खाते हैं. तो उस तरीके के जो एनिमल्स होते हैं वो ओमनीवोरस में डिस्क्राइब या कैटेगराइज किए जाते हैं. अब हमको इस टेबल के अंदर जो है वो डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ एनिमल्स के कैटेगरीज हैं. जैसे काउ, लायन, डॉग लिखा हुआ है. काउ is totally herbivorous because it eats only plant. Lion is total carnivorous, मतलब वो animals को ही खाता है. और dog जो होता है वो omnivorous इस तरीके से कि अगर dog को हम रोटी डालते हैं तो भी वो खाता है और अगर बोन डालते हैं तो वो भी खाता है. मतलब दोनों ही चीज़ें खाता है तो वो omnivorous हुआ. मतलब रोटी किस में से बनती है? रोटी is made out of the wheat flour and wheat we get from the plants. So basically roti is a plant product और bone जो है that we get from the animals. So it is an animal product. So dog is eating both plant as well as animal product. So that we'll do later. Now we know that there are many amongst us who do not get sufficient food. We need to find ways by which by which more food can be produced in our country. Now you know that there are many people in our country, because India is a very big country, vast country. There's a lot of population in our country, so there are many people in our country who do not get meals for the 2 times. मतलब कितने लोग ऐसे हैं हमारे देश में जिनको कि खाना रोज मिलता नहीं है. तो इसके लिए सबसे पहले तो हमको क्या करना पड़ेगा, हमारा जो फूड प्रोडक्शन है उसको इंक्रीज करना पड़ेगा, जिससे सारे लोगों को जो है खाना मिल सके. That will not be enough. We will need to find ways to ensure that the food is made easily available to each one of us. और इतना ही नहीं है, खाली फूड प्रोडक्शन इंक्रीज करना is not sufficient, but after increasing the food production we need to make sure that the food that is produced by us goes to each and every person of the country. That means the food reaches each and every person of the country. Now dear children, here are certain keywords that are written here, which are the new words: ingredients, edible, nectar, sprouted seeds, herbivore, carnivore and omnivore. Edible means जिसको खाया जा सकता है. Ingredients वो हैं जिनसे जो कि सामान हम खाना बनाने के लिए डिफरेंट चीज़ें जो हम यूज़ करते हैं, those are called as the ingredients. So dear children, I hope you have understood the lesson. Where does the food come from? Basically from the plants and animals. Now here's a small summary, and then these are the exercises. This is match the following. I have done the matching over here, column A and B. That is why I've put 1, 2, 3 and 4 over here, so that you can see that this one, इसका 1 जो है यहाँ पर match किया गया. If I have written 1 here, that means this is to be matched with this, 2 is to be matched with this, 3 with this and 4 with the second one. So that way the match has to be done. Then on the next page, that is your page number 7, are certain blanks that are given here. So dear children, these 2 exercises that are given here, blanks and match, that you have to complete in the textbook and write this in your notebook also. 1 टाइम. अगर टेक्स्ट बुक आपके पास आ गई है तो आप टेक्स्ट बुक में भी लिखेंगे, और उसके बाद 1 टाइम आप नोटबुक में भी लिखेंगे. एंड द वर्कबुक पार्ट also I am sending a few objective questions with this. So these are certain blanks that are given here. Tiger is carnivore because it eats only meat. Deer eats only plants products, so it is called as a herbivore. Parrot eats only the plant products. The milk that we drink, which comes from cows, buffaloes, goats, etc. Goat is an animal product, and we get sugar from sugar cane. So these 5 blanks are there that you have to write in your notebook along with the match. और जो वर्कबुक पार्ट है जो मैं आपको भेज रही हूँ, उसको वर्कबुक में लिखने के बाद एक बार नोटबुक में भी लिखिएगा. अभी अगर आपके पास वर्कबुक अवेलेबल नहीं है, then you directly write it in your notebook 1 time. So dear children, with this we come to the explanation part of lesson number 1, food, where does it come from? On the next session, we'll start the new lesson. Till then, bye-bye and have a nice day. Bye.